Disturbing media. A while back, I already made a video talking about this subject matter, and I said if that video did well, and it has, I'll make a part 2, with fan suggestions from that comment section. Do y'all need a hug? Okay, I understand money's tight right now, I get it, and some of y'all probably can't afford a therapist, okay? I don't even think, I don't even think people are scared of going to a therapist. I think they're just like, bro, I can't afford it. And maybe I'm like a pseudo-therapist for you. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I might need one after this, because, brother, what? That is my reaction to some of the stuff that you have sent me. I've also mixed in some stuff that is it disturbing? The idea of it is more disturbing than the actual subject. That's not going to make a lot of sense until I cover it later on in the video. But the point I'm trying to make is there's going to be some stuff on here that people are going to be like, that's not even really disturbing. That actually sounds kind of cool. Yes, but I'm sick and tired of people misquoting it and bringing it up when it frankly just doesn't deserve to get brought up in the same discussion. When we talk about something like, I don't know, 120 Days in Sodom. Yes, we're going to talk about that. A lot of you guys have issues, and I'm like your surrogate therapist or your bro that you vent way too much to, and then you put me on for background noise while you clean your house or to drive to work. I had somebody say they watch my videos when they climb a cell tower. Brother, don't slip, dog. Like, that's terrifying, dude. But I'm sorry with the weird intro. Okay, you guys know the drill from now. We've made it to, I think we're at 41,000 subscribers right now. That's crazy. I understand. It's crazy work. Maybe 42. At this point, I don't know. I'm just here for the ride and here to entertain. That's my job to you. This is your channel. I'm just the host of it. But if you want to continue the support to this channel, I don't have a membership. I don't have merch that I'm trying to sell you. Very simply, it's this. Just hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe, like, comment. That does more for me than you could ever know. So yeah, I don't need to sell you anything. This is fine for me. So with all that out of the way, let's get into the Disturbing Media Tier List, Volume 2. Salad Fingers. Salad Fingers started out as like a YouTube series by, I'm just gonna say it, very, very disturbed and very talented people. Okay, think of Meat Canyon before Meat Canyon became like the little lovable teddy bear that he is now. Who is still disturbed, don't get me wrong, okay? But is like more of like a chill dude. Salad Fingers, we need to talk, bro. I'm trying to figure out the best way to tell the storyline because the storyline, like, we need to bring Matt Pat out of retirement to dissect this animal because, it covers a goblin-looking creature in this wasteland world in the middle of a hut. Think of the house from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Damn, that could have actually been in this video. Courage effed me up as a kid. I'm sorry. And that's what I get from Salad Fingers. Imagine Courage the Cowardly Dog, but more cryptic and more effed up imagery. That is Salad Fingers on YouTube. The entire series is still on YouTube. I actually recommend you watch it if you haven't. It's definitely like one of the OG, I say creepypastas, but it's more like disturbing media on the internet. As far as a storyline, it covers this goblin-looking character named Salad Fingers with long fingers. And it goes through mutilation, child loss, split personality syndrome, dealing with just very, very heavy themes. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. And if you just watch it, it feels like, again, a Courage the Cowardly Dog deleted scene of somebody that was most likely doing some ayahuasca. That's the best way that I can describe Salad Fingers to you. It F's with me, bro. It does. Like, I don't know what it is. It's about, like, I'm trying to do my best impression. Hello, little guy. Oh. Rips off his finger to feed to a little demon baby. Like, I'm sorry. It's that type of weird stuff that's like I say this lovingly because I do think it's a good work of art. Demonic sit posting. That's the best way I can describe it. Imagine Family Guy cutaways, but actually way more dark. And unironically, sometimes more funny. I think Salad Fingers probably has made me laugh more than the standard Family Guy cutaway gag. I'm sorry I'm throwing socks early in the video, however, that's why you watch it. As far as disturbing, I mean, I would say, dang. Like, the criteria of how I'm doing it is my reaction afterwards. Meh. Dang, is, like, it got a reaction out of me. What? Like, what did I just watch to depressing and scarred where I just never forget about it? I think that's a good way to put Salad Fingers. I actually recommend you watch it if you haven't already. Francisco Goya. To be more specific, the black paintings. And when I mean black paintings, I'm not saying that these were paintings painted in the Jim Crow era. No, I mean by black paintings like, dog, do you need a hug? That's my how I'm gonna say it. You know that, I'm gonna try to sew an overlay of it without, like, YouTube's pretty nice to me, okay, so I don't want to push my luck with it. I'm surprised the War Crimes video got monetized, I'll be real with you. So I don't want to ruin my, my goodwill with the company, but, brother, look up Francisco Goya paintings. You know that one painting where it's like the elderly man eating a baby? And you're like, how could anybody get possessed to paint that? Yeah, that's Francisco Goya. First off, Francisco Goya had a Forrest Gump of a life, bro. This man grew up during the Spanish Inquisition. We're going into like the early 1700s to the mid 1800s. Witnessed all forms of plague to death to Spanish Inquisition, the Holy Church basically brutalizing people that they saw as disbelievers. The Napoleonic Wars when he conquered Madrid. So, but the black paintings come from a point of his life. Well, first off, he got a mysterious illness and then just couldn't hear anymore, okay? Brother, imagine how depressing that is. Imagine being like the most famous artist in the royal court of Ferdinand, who was not a great dude, he just wasn't, during Madrid. And then you get a mysterious illness, and you lose your ability to hear anything, and you just become emo. And then he started drawing up some, like, disturbed paintings that made the Spanish court so uncomfortable that they legit told bro, hey, can you keep it business related and just draw a picture of me, basically be my little selfie camera, and you can keep that disturbing shit in your little house that we gave you. That's essentially what happened. And then when Napoleon comes in, Napoleon's like, ayo, I like your work. And trust me, it's not like I'm gonna be a dictator like Ferdinand. Didn't age well. As you can imagine, Napoleon was actually more brutal than Ferdinand was because it's Napoleon Bonaparte. What did you expect? Okay, like that's kind of crazy that bro actually thought things were gonna become less dictatorial under a legitimate, established dictator. Like, I cannot believe you actually thought that, Francisco. Francisco got really depressed after that, and his wife died, his kid died in a miscarriage, and then he was just lonely, like really, really lonely. And then and the older he got, the more disturbed he got. So imagine you're Francisco Goya. You're living under Napoleon Bonaparte's regime where he is legitimately just brutalizing your countrymen, and you're more or less kept around as a little picture guy where you just draw little pictures of Napoleon, and then you go home to your no-wife have an ass house, okay? No child, no nothing, okay? And then you start painting some of the most disturbing art I've ever seen. Like, brother, it is effed up. I've thought about getting a Goya painting just in the background, like, just to catch people off guard. Because you look at one of the paintings, and it's legit a bunch of witches talking to a single mom with, like, little baby parts in their, like, basket. And this was written on bro's walls. Bro, he painted these horrible paintings of old people eating babies on the walls of his house after his wife died and he lost his hearing. Brother, get some help, okay? Francisco Goya, like, you guys have probably seen a painting and thought to yourself, this guy must have been evil, right? No, he was just lonely. I'm gonna put it in what? There's a lot of Goya paintings that I'm like, I'm gonna tell you something. Whenever there's a scary movie and you see a scary painting, you wanna know something that's funny? 9 times out of 10, it's a Francisco Goya reprint. It's funny how often, like, that's his legacy. He's known for the paintings he never published, which is so interesting to me. Francisco Goya, very interesting story. Terrifying paintings, though. They're effed up. They are. They really are, bro. I can't even sell you some of them. 120 Days in Sodom, or Salo. The storyline of... Okay, let me just say this. It's one of the most disturbing movies ever made, okay? Have I watched the full thing? No. But I swear, YouTube is like Usain Bolt sprinting to videos that slightly break terms of condition, and they'll swat that shit down like a power slap champion. But when it comes to 120 days in Sodom clips, they're like educational. It's kind of like how on YouTube you can do nude yoga, and they're like, no, that's educational. But yeah, you see what I'm saying? You understand? Like, I don't think I need to explain it any further to you. Okay, it's just weird. 120 Days in Sodom. It covers right when World War II was ending. The Italian oligarchy knew that they were going to lose. This comes from a book, by the way. The Italian oligarchy knew that they were going to lose and most likely get killed by the general populace. And these are some of the most disconnected and depraved humans you could ever write in any fictional thing ever. So what they do is they take 150, basically a 60 male, 60 female, invite them to basically this oligarchical stronghold, so like big house, but turned into a prison. And what proceeds to happen is 120 days of some of the most hard-to-watch, depraved shit that I could ever, like, describe to you. Like, I'm laughing not because I think it's funny, but because it's like, brother, what is going on? Like, I cannot prepare you for what I'm actually going, like, I cannot. Like, if you have a queasy stomach, don't even bother looking up 120 Days in Sodom. Don't do it. Do not do it. I'm doing the plead that I did for if you haven't seen Two Girls, One Cup, don't watch it, okay? Your life will be more bountiful and pleasurable if you just don't watch it. However, I'm doing this for YouTube views, and I swear the bags under my eyes grow with each passing video. So I'm already a lost cause, brother. Let me unburden you of your trauma. Don't be putting this on your shoulders, bruv, okay? Like, I'm trying to think, okay, you have eating razor blade apples, okay? Okay, eating razor blade apples. You have, I can't describe a lot of it because I guarantee that'll get me power slapped out of the algorithm. It's bad. It's really bad. Like, it's so bad. And I know I'm gonna get some comments being like, why did you describe it like this? Now I have to watch it. Don't. People that have seen, I'm gonna be able to tell who has seen this movie and who hasn't seen this movie by what their comment section is going to be down below. The people that have seen it are going to be like, bro's doing God's work. The people who have seen it are gonna be like, why did you even put this in their minds? The people who haven't seen it are gonna be like, lame how you didn't describe it. I'm gonna go look it up. Well, I'm gonna see you in therapy on Monday. So yeah, this scarred me. It did. Like, I feel like a scared dog describing it. It's bad. It's really, really bad. It doesn't even work as a plot of a movie. It is. You know when people talk about disturbing movies and they're like, it's this close to being a snuff film? This is a snuff film. This is bad. Really bad. Scarring. Johnny got his gun. A lot of you guys wanted this in part 1. Are you okay? Okay? That's my question to you. Are you okay? Okay, like, there's a reason I got the therapist chair out for this video, okay? Because now I need to ask you, what are you watching, dude? Let me describe the plot to you so you understand what my reaction is. Imagine we're in right before World War I. Your name's Johnny. Johnny is a Chad, okay? His dad over here is definitely seeing a little bit too much conflict. He walks in and is like, listen here, Johnny. There's a time in every man's life where he needs to stop getting with women and pick up his gun and fight for his country. I'm going to say oorah, but it's not oorah. Okay, so Johnny proceeds to say, it's okay, Dad. I will fight for my country and I will have a loving family. And then he proceeds to do the most 1900s way of trying to sleep with a woman I've ever seen. She's over here. Her name must be Sally. I don't remember her name. She goes into the bedroom and she's like, hey there, Johnny. Take off your shoes. Let's get comfortable. In the early 1900s, that was basically a girl's way of saying, you up, babe? Okay, like that's what it was. Okay, like, that's how I imagine how it was, because obviously I wasn't there. However, it's very, very obvious that's what happened. happy memories, okay? Johnny got the girl, he has a proud dad, he's gonna be a giga chad, probably a baby out there, and then what happens? He goes to World War I, loses his legs, loses his arms, paralyzed. The only thing that he can do is shake his head up. Lost his damn face, too. Lost his face, but is still alive. And then the entire movie is him in a military hospital where he's getting operated on without anesthesia, and he feels everything. And he's in the hospital for like 5 years. He doesn't know what's going on. The only way that he can measure days, by the way. Oh, no, never mind. He can't hear either. The only way he can measure days is he can feel the sun's heat on his skin because he's basically existing in a nothingless, blackless void. And they realize that he is conscious because he starts twitching his head in Morse code because now all the memories are coming to him, and he starts doing S-O-S. And then people realize, oh no, we just kept this dude alive for 5 years operating on him for military science, and we didn't give him anesthesia or painkillers. Oh my gosh, we effed up. And then they go over to him, and they're like, soldier, we are sorry. They're like doing Morse code on his fucking forehead to talk to him. Sorry, what happened to you, soldier? But we're trying our best to learn the best from your condition. They aren't even trying to heal him. They're just trying to figure out like what vegetative state he's in. And then he starts pleading with them to let me be a carnival so I can make my money that way. And they say, no, we can't let you your existence be known to the general populace. And then he starts in Morse code saying over and over, kill me, kill me, kill me. And then one of the nurses, who I'm like 50% sure they gave him a handy 25% into the film. That's not me being gross. I legit, like, that's what it looks like, and I do believe that just happened. Ugh, this is such a bad movie, dude. I mean, it's a good movie. It's better than 120 Days in Sodom, but it's so depressing. Okay, now let me describe how it ends to you, just because you guys are apparently this curious about it. The nurse tries to kill him by putting a plug on his breathing tube, and then one of the generals comes in and takes so he can breathe again, and then they order that the blinds, the only way that he can tell that time is passing, those to be closed, and they just lock him away. And then the movie ends. Happy ending. Awful. Depressing. Depressing. I made Depressing a tier purely for this. What the hell are y'all watching? Y'all need help. Go watch, I don't know, The Wild Robot. That's a movie that's out on Amazon. Pretty good movie. Made me feel happy. Unironically, after I'm done filming these, I watch happy stuff because, brother, do you see the bags underneath my eyes? Y'all are taking life away from me. Anything for YouTube views. Depressing. Bang, dang. Everywhere at the End of Time. It's a little bit artsy. And what it is, it's a series of YouTube videos where it's a 6-hour audio log of it's a musical representation of what suffering from dementia / Alzheimer's is. So what I mean by that is the beginning of the 6-hour video is just normal music. And then the farther you go on, the more the music deteriorates till by the end of the video, it isn't even music. It's like the vibrations of sound without a melody. So it's to describe the deterioration of your mind, and it's a way to explain to people what is the sensation of dementia. People have done, like, name a song. People have done a version of it because it's that, unironically, I clicked on one where it was Everywhere at the End of Time, but they replaced the 80s music with Minecraft ambiance music, and it is still unsettling. It's bad. The idea of dementia and Alzheimer's is legitimately a scary one because it's your brain deteriorating, so you are literally losing your own sense of self and time, and you're effectively existing in your own, like, domain expansion of experience. That's terrifying. That's terrifying, dude. Imagine you have it and then you get stuck with the bad memories, so you're living your worst memories over and over. Like if you already know you're getting it, you would want to get locked in the good memories. That's all I'm saying. Depressing. Yeah, it's depressing. Like it's not even meh. It's just depressing. Yeah, that's bad. A Serbian film. Yeah, I hate this movie. I hate this movie. You want to know why I hate this movie? Because it was made as essentially a form of protest against the Serbian government for movie restrictions. So what are we going to do? We're going to make the most unhinged movie possible, the most depraved. Like, unironically, I would actually put the 120 Days of Sodom worse than this one because that one's just in its own league. So a lot of these disturbing movies come from this time frame. I don't even know. Like, y'all need to calm down. Like, actually need to calm down. This is why there's ratings above the R scale for movies. I don't even think I can describe the plot of a Serbian film, but I'm gonna attempt it in YouTube language. So there's a guy in the movie where he is a pleasure actor for adult movies, and he gets recruited by a Saudi government organization to make films for high clients, and it's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. Is it Scar? Yeah, Serbian film's really bad. 120 Days in Sodom's worse, but a Serbian film, like, I'm gonna be real, bro. They tried to investigate the dude that wanted to do Green Inferno because they thought Green Inferno legitimately killed people. The people who made a Serbian film need to get put on a watch list. The people who made 120 Days in Sodom need to get put on a watch list, okay? Your imagination scares me, frankly. I'm scarred. The Road. I already covered another one of Cormac McCarthy's books, that being Blood Meridian. And that's known as the worst of them. The Road is, okay. Unironically, the only book other than The Road that I think is the easiest to read in terms of understanding who the good guy and the bad guy is would probably be the, No Country for Old Men. Yes, Cormac McCarthy also wrote that. Cormac is an underrated goat, okay? Amazing author. The Road. The Road's so depressing, okay? And what it covers is it's set in I'm gonna say a nuclear wasteland. I think it's very well implied that it's a nuclear wasteland. The only other one that it could be would be a supervolcano eruption because it describes these surroundings as burning and cold, which is actually terrifying because that's actually like one of the descriptions they had of like hell. It is dark and hot, but cold and burning. Like that that's terrifying, and I know that's what Cormac McCarthy was trying to do because of some other books that we're going to cover that Cormac even said were inspiration for him for like Blood Meridian. The Road takes place between a father and a son surviving in a nuclear wasteland. But before you think, oh, it's like Fallout. No, this is so much worse. This is awful. It is one of the most, like, I've learned from myself, what bothers me when we talk about disturbing media, okay? Brutality doesn't. Like, I look at brutality and I look at it's like there is a historical precedence for brutality. It's awful. I don't like it. But that doesn't bother me. Desperation does. When you see somebody so desperate for the smallest of things and they fail, that messes with me more than other things. I don't know what it is, but like I've learned from making videos that that's what hits me. The desperation of the people in 120 Days in Sodom, that sticks with you. The desperation of people in a Serbian film. The desperation of Johnny in Johnny Got His Gun. That gets to me. When we're looking at like art from like the black paintings by Francisco Goya, there is like a sense of like he's trying to inform you of something that can be changed. But the desperation to make it in a world that cannot be changed, that gets to you. The Road is that. The Road, like, don't get me wrong, it ends semi-upbeat for a Cormac McCarthy one, but it's still bleak. Like, there's a point. The happiest part of the story, aside when we go, not even the ending, one of the happiest parts of the book is when the father gives his son a Coca-Cola. And the child is like, why won't you take a sip, Dad? And he's like, I've already had some. And then the son says, because this is the last one that I'll ever have. Bro. Like, it's so bleak. Like, it's suffocating how bleak it is. And then, like, you're wondering, oh, what happened to the mom? The mom, I don't even want to get into it, bro. It's so sad. I could make a dedicated video to The Road. Eventually, maybe I'll do that, because it is one that sticks with you. It won an award for, like, provoking so much thought in people. If you think you can survive in the post-apocalypse, if you think you can survive that, watch The Road and get back to me, bud. That's all I'm gonna say. Depressing. The Road will little bro you with how sad it is. It really will. Paradise Lost. Okay, now we're getting into stuff that isn't so much disturbing, but the idea of it is more disturbing than it is, and frankly, it annoys me. Yes, this is going to be my ranty part of the video, okay? Paradise Lost is a novel written, I think it was like 100 years ago, and what it is it's the entirety of the Old Testament from the book of Genesis all the way up to the death of Jesus, from the point of view of the devil. And I say that, and people are like, oh, well, like, I don't think you actually ever read it, okay? The book is not trying to get you to sympathize with the devil. No. It is so very clearly pointing out how stupid and indefensible the devil's position is in the Christian faith. That is what it's doing. Like, okay, also, fun fact, because we just got done talking about The Road. The judge from Blood Meridian, which I've talked about on the channel, is like this super evil being, but does have an interesting way of how he says things. If you've ever heard the quote, anything that exists in the world without my knowledge does exist without my consent, that comes from Judge Holden from Blood Meridian. And Cormac McCarthy, the author of that book, said that he got the inspiration for Judge Holden from the devil in Paradise Lost. And it is pretty interesting. Like, it's an interesting point of view of looking at it, but you're looking at it through, like, the point of view of a flawed, not just a flawed protagonist, an objectively evil protagonist. My favorite part of the novel is easily when Jesus goes into the woods and does his fasting, and the devil goes to tempt him. And Jesus is so just utterly done with the devil at this point that the devil's just trying to be like, okay, I don't understand. Okay, you're going to sacrifice yourself to people who don't believe in you, and I'm offering you a kingdom on earth. You rule them how you want to rule them. I'll let you do the teachings of our Father. But why won't you make this deal with me? And Jesus, all he does is look at little bro and is like, you understand that you were kicked out of heaven because you misunderstood the fundamentals of how creation works. And then the devil is now looking at him like, brother, what do you mean by that? I got kicked out because Dad looked at me and said, oh, I don't like your ideas. You're wrong, but I'm right? And then Jesus looks at him and is like, what do you mean you got kicked out of heaven? It's like, yeah, he kicked me out and put me in hell. That's what happened. So let me get this straight. This is Jesus talking to the devil at this point. You got kicked out of heaven, okay, because you went against the dude that was trying to teach you, and you went so far against him that you led a rebellion. And instead of taking you out, which he could have easily have done, by the way, he gives you a realm that you can be the god of. He gave you what you wanted, and you're complaining that your realm is a prison. No. That is the reality you made. That is what reality would be if you were in charge. He was trying to show you how flawed your ideas are. And then the devil's like, nah, you're wrong, bro. Like, that's essentially what happens. And then people read it and they're like, oh, the devil's meant to be sympathetic. No, you're meant to laugh at him because of how flawed his ideas are. It's an interesting, I put it in meh because I think it's more interesting than anything. Is it disturbing? No. I think about it sometimes like, dang, that is a very good way to, like, I think it's an interesting book. Like, it is. It's a pretty interesting book. I'm going to put it in meh. Dante's Inferno. This is another one. I think Dante's Inferno has to be one of the most misunderstood pieces of literature, like, ever. Let me tell you something. This is going to sound crazy until I explain it, but you guys are going to be like, what? Dante's Inferno is at the same level of, like, political fan fiction as Has Been Hotel. Okay? It's like the people who looked at Has Been Hotel, okay, and Hell of a Boss, and were like, that's sacrilegious. It's so evil. It's evil. When it is one of the most Christian stories if you actually look at it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'll talk about that in a second. Dante's Inferno was made by a poet and comedian. I know when people are be like, oh, well, when he means by Dante's Inferno is the Divine Comedy, it was actually meant to be like a super serious, because comedy was comedic and like sad. Dude, no. There are legitimate parts of Dante's Inferno that are just funny, that you actually start laughing because it's like, there's no way he meant this to be serious. Let me tell you how serious this book is. It covers a dude named Dante going in the hell to save his love, okay? He gets met by the Archangel Gabriel, and then the Archangel Gabriel guides him through the 7 layers of hell. Yeah. The 7 layers of hell comes from Dante's Inferno and was popularized by it, okay? That's where it comes from, so that's pretty much fake. And yes, Dante's Inferno is biblical fanfiction, the same way that Paradise Lost is. That is a fact. The reason that Dante's Inferno got blown up to just astronomical hypes and now everybody speaks about it like it's some divine book, when it was meant as like it's meant as a jab at Catholicism. There's a part in this book where Dante is going through hell and he sees all the popes basically in a human centipede living underneath the ground. And whenever a new pope is crowned, they write his name down and say, oh yeah, you're going in the back of the bus. That's a joke! And y'all, so many people too. The Pope got so butthurt by Dante's Inferno, he blacklisted it as so sacrilegious that he accused Dante of being a Satanist. No, he was just making fun of you. There are so many parts of the book that are so meant to be a joke, to the point that, like, there are so many times where he's walking through and he's meeting, like, poets from different times in history. And then they're like, oh yeah, the reason you're down here is you aren't from Italy, bro. Italy is so much more, it's more beautiful. I dare say, Italy is probably more beautiful than heaven itself. Like, bro, come on. He's walking through heaven. He's walking through hell, seeing the most awful things being done to other people. And then he's like, oh, they deserve it, though, because they're just bad people. And then he's walking through, and then he starts talking to people from each of the layers. And there is one point that makes me laugh so hard, where he walks up to a dude, and there's a layer called Crimes Against Humanity. And there's murderers, there's pillagers, there's like conquerors from all over the world that belong here. Except for Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was so cool that apparently, in Dante's Inferno's logic, Jesus himself invited him. And y'all took this book seriously. Bro, it's a joke. There's a point where he's going through the Crimes Against Humanity, and he goes upon one dude, and he's like, what is your crime, sir? And he says, I'm not straight. I'm not kidding you. That was his crime. And then Dante is like, ew, leave him. It's a joke. Like, he's actually poking fun at the Catholic Church the entire book. Calm it down. Y'all made this thing... Oh my god, like, no joke. Dante's Inferno got to stay the edge of time because the Pope couldn't take a joke. Oh, and to get back to Has Been Hotel, brother, the entire story of Has Been Hotel is a chick trying to redeem souls so they could go up to heaven, and then the higher-ups at heaven are like, no, that can't happen. You don't understand the holy ways. We do better than you. It's almost like that was the whole story of Jesus going to the Sadducees. Oh yeah, the higher up holy people are actually the most corrupt people, and the dude who is the literal son of God is like, no, you don't understand it, so I'm gonna go with the people that are like carpenters. They have a more better fundamental understanding of the Word of God than you do, somebody who studied it their entire life. Yeah, that's Has Been Hotel. Like, it's crazy. Like y'all are turning... Dante's Inferno was the Has Been Hotel back then. Like, come on. You're crazy. It was meant to be a joke. Take it. Damn, bro. Issei Sagawa manga. If I said his name wrong, I legitimately don't care. this guy does not deserve respect, okay? Issei Sagawa, I'm gonna call him the midget cannibal, okay? This was a 5'3" little Japanese man who ate women that were taller than him. That is the craziest sentence I have ever said on this channel, and you know what the craziest part about it? That man got to get off scot-free, and do you know what he did to make money because nobody wanted to hire him? He made a fucking anime. This is the craziest timeline. Like, bro. And I'm not kidding. This is a dude, this is a Nepo baby, okay? That was in Japan, flew over to France, ate French women, and he described his mentality of, I always loved big women and always thought about what they tasted like. And then wrote a whole manga describing his inner thoughts and sold it and made money off of it and got off basically scot-free on a technicality that a law that doesn't exist now because it was such a mishandling of justice that the French and Japanese governments literally said, my bad, bro, we're gonna change that law really quick. Do you have any idea how bad you gotta fuck up for the Japanese government to agree with the French government and basically say, we fucked up? Like, do you have any idea how bad you have to F up? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, this dude did it. He's 5'4", you know, he's 5'2", 5'5", I don't care. He's a small man who ate women. Multiple women. Insane. Actually insane work. Is it scarring? I don't know. If you look at the manga, like, it's like little tiny, like, schizophrenic drawings. And he's like a weird celeb. I could make a full video covering this story. It is so wild to me. The only reason I haven't done it is because I don't know why I haven't done it. That could be a deep dive video. If you guys ever requested more deep dives with stuff like Unit 731, Dante's Inferno, and Issei Sagawa, that's something that I could do. Absolutely insane story. He's a small man who got away with eating women. It's unhinged how crazy that story is. He made a manga that you can buy it on eBay for like $1,000. I don't want to buy it because I don't want to risk getting him money, but however, it would be one of the craziest things to have on a shelf. I'm not going to lie to you, it would. I'm not going to get it because I don't want any money going to this absolute scumbag of a human being. However, is it scarring? It's more just what? Like, I'm not, like, obviously, jail, death penalty, okay? But it's so crazy that my initial reaction to it was not depressing, not scarred. It was, what? That was my reaction to what happened. Like, I cannot believe you not only got away with it. Dude, imagine if Ted Bundy got away with those murders and then made it a dating book of how he was able to get women. Like, that's the levels of craziness that we came into. So, yeah, that happened. And that is the Disturbing Media Tier List Volume 2. I don't know if I'll do another one of these. Maybe I do. There's a lot of disturbing media out there. But, it all depends with how this video does, okay? If you haven't seen Volume 1, I recommend you watch Volume 1. It's a pretty good video, similar to this one. And if you like my type of videos and you've watched multiple types of my videos, which 60% of you do, by the way, please consider a like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 50K subscribers by the end of the year, and we are on track to do it because of you guys. And thank you for the support that you give this channel. It's more than I deserve. I said it in the beginning of the video, I'll say it again. This channel belongs to you guys. I'm merely just a host of it, and your support to it is genuinely insane. Thank you guys for listening to just some average white dude rant about random subjects in his upstairs middle room. Crazy to me, dude. And yeah, have a great day, dude. If you need a therapist, bro, go get a therapist. I wish I had a better doc sponsorship because that would legitimately be hilarious for this video. But with all this out of the way, have a great day. Thank you for listening to the video, and I will see you all in the next video. Adios, guys.